Hello and welcome back to the Drive to Thrive show. The show all about being yourself, being your best, and truly thriving in life, whatever that means to you. In life, all day, every day, we are constantly taking in new information, having experiences, and learning lessons from both of these things. And I want you to have a think for a moment about some of the biggest lessons you've learned in life so far, about some of the biggest lessons you've learned about yourself, about others in the world, about your goals, and even about life itself. And have a think and allow some of these lessons to come to the surface now. And if you need to, take a pause here until you have one clear in mind. And if you have a think about it, a lot of the biggest, most valuable, and impactful lessons we've learned in life have come from experience, from things that we've done or been through. And there's a very good reason for this, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's episode, where we discuss the power of putting our knowledge into action and why it's so important. And in alignment with this, we're going to be taking a quick recap of the Drive to Thrive show so far, highlighting some of the key takeaways, ideas, and action points to help make sure that you're really getting the most from this to empower you with your goals and growth. And so, if you've been following the show right from the beginning, then today's episode serves as a powerful opportunity to refresh yourself on and put into action the most impactful key takeaways, insights, and ideas so far to make sure that you're really growing in the most effective way possible. And if today is your first episode, then it serves as a great overview of how to action and get the most from the show. And from here, you can then look back and pick which episode you're going to listen to first. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. Knowledge plus action equals learning. This is such a powerful principle. A principle which, when we live by it, and funnily enough, when we put it into action, can help us to take exponential leaps with our goals and growth. Because if you have a think about it, having knowledge that we never put into action is no better than having an untested theory or idea. Because having not tested it, we can't truly trust or rely upon it because we have no experience, we have no evidence of its resourcefulness or validity. And so when we have knowledge and we don't put it into action, we haven't really truly learned anything. We're just grasping a concept, a theory, facts, or ideas. And to then go and share these things would be almost inauthentic. Like, for example, if I was to sit here and talk to you all about the power of meditation, having never meditated myself, then it would come across a bit authentic. You would maybe hear in the tone of my voice or how I'm holding myself that something's just not quite right, and it wouldn't sit right with me either. But talking about things that we've used and put into action is something completely different. Hence why I'm here talking to you about the power of mindset, personal growth, values, and all these powerful things that I've used to transform my own life in so many amazing ways, and I also use with my clients to help them to be their very best, achieve their most meaningful goals, and thrive living a fulfilling life. And so, once we put something into action, when we take new knowledge, a new idea, a new insight, a new theory, and we put it into action, we get a result. Maybe it's the result that we want, maybe it's not. But when we get a result, we get feedback. And our brains can then take this feedback in, cross-contextualize it with what we already know and have experienced, come up with new lessons, labels, and meanings from this experience, and then assimilate it into our understanding of the world in such a way that we can then practically apply it. Which means next time we go to take action, we've got more data to draw upon. We're taking action from an informed place of experience, of having taken knowledge, insights, ideas that we've gained, put them into action, tested them, got feedback, decided how best they work or how best to improve them, and then next time we take action, we're even more resourceful from having learned these lessons. But when we don't take action, when we don't put to the test our new knowledge, insights, and ideas, they remain untested theories just gathering mental dust, and we miss out on a huge opportunity to really learn something. And this is so common in the world we live in today, with so much information readily available right at our fingertips, where people just consume and consume and consume more and more information without ever putting it into action and truly learning something. Which is something that I've been guilty of in the past. I used to listen to episode after episode after episode of personal growth podcasts, and by the time I've listened to 5 or 6 episodes in a row, there is absolutely no way that I'm truly retaining and putting into action the key takeaways and insights from each of these things. Which is why I'm here sharing this episode with you today, having learned this lesson. Because to truly learn, progress, and thrive, it is imperative that we put our insights, ideas, and knowledge into action so that we can test them and get feedback, so that we can assimilate and create real lessons, so that we can create resourceful, empowering, and practical mindsets and perceptions of the world, all so that we can be our very best, achieve our goals, and truly thrive. Which is exactly why we've been brought together and are connected right here and now. Because you're determined to learn, grow, and achieve your goals, and I'm determined to help you to do that by sharing the very best of what I know, have learned, and experienced. So, to ensure that you can do exactly that and are getting the most from this, let's do a quick recap of the top key takeaways and insights from all our episodes so far. Whether you've put them into action already or you're going to do it now, make sure you've got your pad and pen at the ready and let's see what new powerful insights we can create. In episode 1, I shared with you my personal story talking about overcoming mental health issues and going from a place of merely surviving to a place of truly thriving. And from this episode, some of the key ideas and insights to take away were that regardless of where you are with your goals and growth, regardless of where you are with your health and well-being, your career or business, your wealth, whatever it is, regardless of where you are, it's possible for you to achieve your goals and it's possible for you to thrive. And from this episode, to go away and begin thinking about some of the possibilities and things you would love to be, do, have, and achieve in your own life. In episode 2, we were talking about what it means to thrive in life, and how thriving is an active and ongoing process created within ourselves, for ourselves, by making progress towards our goals and the things most important to us in life, by growing personally and professionally, enjoying the journey of our goals and growth, and creating a life on our own terms as the leader of ourselves and of our lives, and doing it in a way that aligns with our values. I also introduced the Thrive Pillars as a great way to identify the key areas for our personal growth right here and now. And some of the key action points from this episode were to go away and check out the free training on the Thrive Pillars, and also to begin thinking about what it means for us to be thriving in life personally, to explore what that would be like, look like, and feel like for you to be thriving in life. In episode 3, we were talking about the power of having a vision for our lives, and how having a vision gives us hope, inspiration, and purpose. It can help to focus, organise, and empower our minds, and it can give us a real sense of achievement and fulfillment as we progress towards it. And one of the key action points from this episode was to begin exploring what your vision for life is, what life would look, sound, and feel like if you achieved all your most meaningful goals, and I even offered a free guided process to help you to do that. In episode 4, we were talking about the importance of living our best lives now, discussing the idea that the present moment is all that exists and is where all of our power lies. Talking about how being and living our very best right here and now energizes and fulfills us in the present, and also compounds, evolves, and flows into an even greater future. And one of the top action points from here was to begin exploring how you can live your best life now. How you can take some of these goals and ideas from your vision for the future and make them a reality right here and now, so that you can be and live your best in the present and use that as a powerful springboard into an even greater future. In episode 5, we learned about the only 3 things that can stop you from achieving your goals. and how taking personal responsibility grants us all the power we will ever need to be, do, have, and achieve whatever we want in life. We learned that all problems, challenges, and setbacks along the way can be taken responsibility for and thus placed into one of three categories that are completely within our influence and control to take action upon and then overcome, which I then shared some top tips and tools on how to overcome any one of these three things. And so, the key takeaway and action point from this episode was to begin taking personal responsibility for anything that stops us or gets in the way of achieving our goals and place it into one of these three categories so that we can use the tips provided to overcome it most effectively. In episode 6, we took a deep dive into core values and how we can use them to nurture a purposeful and fulfilling life, learning that core values are the principles and ideals that drive us and shape our lives, that they're the keys to confident and congruent decisions, and that by being clear on what our core values are and living in alignment with them, we can create a deep, empowering sense of purpose and fulfillment naturally through who we are being and how we are living. I then shared an exercise that we can use to help us to clarify our core values, tips and tools on how to connect with them further, and then how to embody them so that we can create a purposeful and fulfilling life. And so, the key points and action steps from this episode were to go away and clarify what our core values are, explore how we can live in alignment with them, and then enjoy that sense of purpose and fulfillment. In episode 7, we discussed the importance of the place and perspective from which we approach our goals and growth, learning that the motives and drivers behind our goals and growth will drastically affect the way in which we approach them. Will also determine our effectiveness and chances of success, and also hugely affect our ability to acknowledge, own, and enjoy any success we create. From here, we then discussed how important it is to approach our goals from a place of love, how working on our self esteem can help us to do that, and I gave 5 top tips that you can use to begin strengthening and improving your self esteem right away. And so, the key takeaways and action points from this episode were to have a think about the motives and drivers behind our goals and growth, to clarify if we're coming from a place of love or from a place of lack, and if we're coming from a place of lack, to use the steps entailed to allow us to work on our self esteem and come at our goals and growth from that empowering place of love. And so, we've covered a lot in just 6 episodes, but everything that we've covered can be distilled down into some key action points that, when you take them, will have a massive impact on your personal growth and goals and thus on your life. And those key action points are as follows. First and foremost is to acknowledge that it's possible for you to achieve your goals and thrive, to ensure that you truly believe it and thus you embody it. Next is to begin exploring what it means for you to be thriving in life, exactly what that looks, sounds, and feels like, what it involves, and getting crystal clear on what thriving means to you personally. From here, to then go about creating a compelling vision of exactly what your life would be like having achieved all your most meaningful goals, living a fulfilling life that aligns with your values, and to be thriving in all aspects of life. Then, we want to explore how we can take this vision of the future and start living as much as possible of it right here and now, so that we can be our very best and live our best lives in the present. Then, we want to think about any challenges, obstacles, roadblocks, anything at all that could come up or is already in the way of our personal growth and goals. Take full personal responsibility for them and decide whether they come under the category of limiting beliefs, negative emotions, or ineffective strategies so that we can then deal with them in the most effective way possible. Then, we want to get clear on what our personal core values are. Explore what it looks, sounds, and feels like to embody them and live them in our lives. To revisit our definition and vision of what it means for us to be thriving in life, make sure that our values are reflected and honoured in there. To revisit our compelling vision for life and again ensure that our core values are reflected in this, update it and add to it as necessary to make sure that what it means for us to be thriving in life, and our compelling vision of exactly what that looks, sounds, and feels like honours our personal values so that we can live with that natural sense of purpose and fulfillment. And then, last but by no means least, is simply to explore the motives and drivers behind our goals and growth to ensure that we're coming from this secure, confident place of love, of knowing that we are good enough and that all our goals and growth are simply adding to the amazing experience of our lives. And of course, as we now know, knowledge plus action equals learning. So, before you go any further, I want you to pause this episode right here and answer a very important question. Maybe you even want to rewind quickly, go over those key action points again, and then ask yourself, how and where can I apply this, and when am I going to do it? Go ahead, pause the episode here, and write out your answer to that question. And even if you're not in a position to write it out, just quickly take a pause and answer it in your head. Done that? Fantastic. This means that if you've been following the show from the beginning, you'll now have some new insights, ideas, and powerful action steps that you can use to apply this even more effectively, to ensure that you're getting the most from this, and to keep making exponential leaps with your growth and goals. And if you're listening for the first time, you'll have some new ideas and insights and can now pick which episode you're going to go back and listen to first and then put it into action from there. Please remember that knowledge plus action equals learning. So anytime you're consuming an incredibly inspiring, empowering, and valuable piece of content like the Drive to Thrive show, always make sure to ask yourself, how and where can I apply this, and when am I going to do it? To ensure that we leave the scene of every insight, aha moment, and acquisition of new knowledge with a commitment to go and put it into action. Because that's the way we truly learn, that's the way we truly grow, and that's how we can truly thrive. As well as that, another powerful way to learn is to share and teach to others. So have a think. Who would you like to share the Drive to Thrive show with now? And what energizing, inspiring conversations can come from that are going to deepen your relationship with that person and also benefit your goals and growth. This brings today's episode nicely to a close. Make sure to go and put your ideas and insights into action. Share your insights in an episode with someone new, and please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review with your podcast host. Until next time, take action, please be kind to others, and I'll catch you real soon. Peace.